Hello friends and my lovely viewers. Welcome back to the channel of Neon Safe. Today we will compare our Queen of Frost Guardian to the Abyssals Guardian and discuss which one is better. Let's get started.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
Both Abyssals and Queen of Frost are damage dealers, but they are still unique with slight differences worth mentioning. Abyssals deals a lot of damage, focuses on control effects, and self-heals to sustain herself. And her skill attacks are both single target and AoE based. I feel like Abyssals is the type of guardian who mostly only focuses on dealing damage, while the control and self-healing is just a supportive side thing she has. And because she is so into dealing damage, she has been labeled by us players as the Void Guardian sidekick. But I've been thinking, perhaps Queen of Frost could also be a great assistant to Void. Almost every attack our Queen makes is AoE based. She can freeze up the opponents and guarantee critical hits, which is by the way super impressive and super useful. This guaranteed critical hit also works incredibly well together with her clan trait called Shura's Avatar. For those who do not know, this trait buffs her critical damage by a certain percentage every time our Guardian launches either an active or ultimate skill. It lasts for only 3 seconds though, but it can stack up to 2 layers. Anyways, on top of this, she also blocks the enemy's energy regen and constitution regen. That type of debuff overall helps our team, as it delays the enemy from launching skills and makes the enemy unable to regain constitution for some time. And finally, she literally targets the lowest constitution and highest strength enemies, as well as the opponent who is furthest away. So no one is really safe on the battlefield if they are weak, pose as a threat, or are hiding in the back row. And that makes her even more dangerous, to be honest. But even though Abyssals and Queen are different in certain ways, their clan traits are actually all based on buffing their damage output. We have Abyssal's Plume Dance, which grants her more critical damage for a set period of time. Then we have her Adjudication, which increases her damage output in every other attack she launches. Our Queen has Shura's Avatar, which buffs the critical damage by a certain percentage every time our Guardian launches either an active or ultimate skill. And our Queen also has Obliterate, which buffs her damage by a certain percentage every time we launch her ultimate skill. It literally feels like Bloodline threw all of the best DPS clan traits onto these two Guardians. And I would say, the clan traits of both Guardians seem to work perfectly with their skills. There is nothing I can pick on or complain about, and I can't even place one Guardian over the other based on their clan traits. We just got too much prettiness going on, and the Guardians' clan traits look equal in my opinion. Do let me know if you disagree with me though, we could also be missing something vital. But anyways, as both our Guardians are completely or partially focused on AoE damage, it is preferable to use them for PvP fights. It is of course possible to place them in boss fights as well, but from what I can tell looking at their skills, they are not likely to perform well in boss fights. However, because of Queen's special Guardian skill, Queen has a greater chance against bosses or single enemies compared to Abyssals. I don't know if you all remember her Guardian skill, but it states that the effect will increase by 50% if we only have one enemy left in battle. And from what I can tell, there is no buff like that on Abyssals. And I have also heard rumors from our fellow Bloodline players that according to their experience, Abyssals did not do well in boss fights. So if that is true, then I guess our Queen Guardian has earned a small victory over Abyssals in terms of boss fights. But that doesn't mean it is finalized who is better amongst these Guardians. There are so many things to consider, both minor things and bigger, more significant things. I really like Abyssal's attack speed for instance, as it beats our Queen Guardian's attack speed. This means our Abyssals has the potential to deal more damage over time. It may not look super great or important, but even the smallest things can lead to a completely different outcome. Another thing to mention is Abyssal's compatibility with the Void Guardian. It may feel safer for us to get Abyssals if we have Void from before. But at the same time, Bloodline has a history of making each Guardian stronger than the previous Guardians. And that makes it more likely for Queen to be the next new hit in the game. Our Queen Guardian does after all deal a great amount of damage, debuff enemies, buff herself and restore her own constitution. And Bloodline also tried to make her more useful in boss fights unlike the other Guardian. So, in my opinion this is what we may do. Focus on acquiring the Void Guardian first, then aim for Queen of Frost. And later if we have any resources left, we may go for Abyssals. I believe this to be the best order to claim our beloved guardians in. It is just my own personal opinion though, so I am not forcing any of you to follow this exact pattern. It is after all completely up to you to decide how you want to prioritize and spend your hard-earned resources. Anyways, I believe the reason to why we may collect the guardians in this order is because we need Void for the main foundation. Like I mentioned in the previous video called Void and Queen Comparison, Void is a great tank with supportive properties that buffs the allies and debuffs the enemies. He shields the enemies from harm and is in my opinion one of the best or the best guardian to have in our team. So getting him before anything else is one of the safest and best things we can do. Unless of course we have too many great tanks or supporters from before and we seriously lack DPS guardians. In that case, we may want to prioritize a little bit differently. That being said, the reason to why we may consider our Queen Guardian over Abyssals is because she is the latest Guardian release, which makes her more likely to be greater than the previous Guardians. Additionally, she has a better chance against boss fights, she can guarantee critical hit if certain criterias are met, she self-heals and has plenty of great buffs. On top of her looking slightly better than Abyssals, she is also a damage dealer just like Abyssals is. And she may not look like she deals as much damage as Abyssals does in her skills, but Queen's damage buffs and critical damage buffs are kinda making it even. But if you prefer to play it safe and go for Abyssals instead, that is completely okay. Abyssals is also an amazing guardian and definitely worth spending our resources on. Choosing Queen can be a bit of a gamble, so if you are unsure about her and if you are low on resources, it is better in my opinion to obtain Abyssals instead. This all being said, I think we have covered most of the topic. If you have any questions or anything you would like to share with us, feel free to comment below. We highly appreciate your support and contribution. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, stay foxy, adios, bye.